Hello, in this video we'll try to plot a logarithmic function. So let's say my logarithmic function is y equals logarithm of x base 3. So I'm going to try to plot this logarithmic function. All right, now I just want to remind you about a exponential function we plot. Let's say function of x equals 3 power x. Okay, and actually function of x 3 power x and this logarithmic function is actually inverse of one another. So that means y is going to be equal to function inverse x, and that is equal to logarithm of x base 3. So both these functions are inverse of one another. Okay, so that is something we know now. So first of all, I am going to try to plot this exponential function. Now in our previous video we have seen that the plot of our exponential this exponential function, right? So so let's now sketch it here. So what I am going to do is I am going to sketch it over here in a big window. So this is my x and y axis, and what is my graph? It is something like that. Okay, although it was not drawn properly. So in any case, what are my point? This point is what? This point was -1 1/3. This point was 0 1, and there is another point which is 1 3. Now how to, so this is my which function? This is my function of x equals 3 power x. Now I want to plot what? My the inverse of this function. Now if you remember from our inverse function chapter, the inverse function is what? Symmetric about this white line y equals x. So let me draw a dotted line which is y equals x. So this is my mirror. Okay, so this is my mirror. So my function is going to be mirror image about this line y equals x. And also previously we have seen that I just need to what? Flip those coordinates. So this is 0 1. So flip one will be, the mirror one will be 1 0. So I'm flipping the coordinate. So here I have 1 3. So if I flip it, it will be 3 1. So it will be at 3 1 point, and here I have -1 1/3. So it will be 1/3 -1. So it will be 1/3 -1. All right, so if I try to connect all these points, I get something like that. Okay, so this is basically my logarithmic function, which is y equals logarithm x base 3. Okay, so that's the easiest way to plot a logarithmic function. Now from here you can see some properties. So let me write down some properties of logarithmic function. So what is the properties? The number one is domain. So as you can see, domain is x values are what? From 0 to infinite. So domain is 0 to infinite. These are my x value. What about the range? Values of y. So values of y are negative infinite to positive infinite. All right, so it is negative infinite to positive infinite. Also if I write down this, it is going to be what? 1 over a -1, this point is same 1 0, and this point is actually a1. So any logarithmic function is going to passes through which point? Passes these 3 point, 1 over a, -1, 1 0, and a1 point. Okay, so this is the plot of and some properties of logarithmic function. So in the next video I'm going to show you more basic properties of